What is it going to take for the British government to realise that Macron's government, sadly, just ain't interested in stopping this illegal migration crisis? That's the truth. And before we get to the ridiculous French response that we have seen this week, which is an absolute disgrace, let's first of all look at the facts here. That since Wednesday, 819 people have illegally crossed the English Channel in 19 boats. That's nearly 7,000 people this month, 10 times the total during the same period in 2020. And getting on for 27,000 people have come across via this route so far this year, well over triple the number by this point of last year. And of course, we've seen this week with the sad deaths of over 30 people, just how dangerous this situation now is. But it becomes increasingly clear to me that the French government are simply not serious about stopping this worsening crisis. We, of course, at the UK government, handed over tens of millions of pounds to the French. But the situation has continued to get even worse. We know that they have refused joint patrols, British personnel on the French beaches to stop the crossings. We know that the French authorities, when they have been on the scene, have simply stood by and watched this go on. And following this week's tragedy, Prime Minister Boris Johnson wrote to French President Emmanuel Macron with a whole series of suggestions, including joint or reciprocal maritime patrol operations in each other's territorial waters. And Boris Johnson also proposed we put in place a bilateral readmissions agreement to allow all illegal migrants who cross the Channel to be returned with immediate effect, which would significantly reduce, if not stop, the crossings, saving lives by breaking the business model of the criminal gangs. And what has the absolutely disgraceful French response to that been? Here is Macron speaking today.
A little earlier, President Macron explained why he felt Boris Johnson's letter was so misplaced.
I am surprised by methods that aren't serious. We do not communicate from one leader to another by tweets and letters on these issues. We don't throw warnings around. Come on. Come on. So ministers will work seriously to deal with a serious issue with serious people. That's why on Sunday, Minister Darmanin will meet with his counterparts from the European Union and the Commission to work on this issue. And then we'll see how we can work with the British on how to respond effectively, if they decide to be serious.
I mean, this is a French government, and of course I've highlighted it, repeatedly attacked the UK, whether it be threats on energy supplies, whether it be criticism of the vaccine rollout strategy, and now cancelling a meeting with Home Secretary Priti Patel just because Boris Johnson wrote to Macron proposing real solutions to get a handle on this now. This is a French government who frankly are irresponsible, have totally and utterly lost the plot, have clearly adopted a bash the British approach in a desperate attempt to try and get Macron re-elected in the upcoming French presidential election. And I think from the British government point of view, we cannot simply have a situation where we sit here for 6 months, a year, 2 years, as the numbers continue to escalate in the way we have already seen with tragic consequences, and hope that the French actually come to their senses. It's time to force the French into action. I've suggested before that we start fining them for every boat that comes across very heavily. If they don't pay the fines, we start revoking French fishing licences. I also think the time has come now to simply start taking these boats back to France unilaterally. Yes, the French will throw their toys out the pram and have a complete hissy fit about it. And guess what? We might actually come to a solution to stop this crisis, because frankly, when the French won't even have a meeting anymore, this is dangerously irresponsible from the French side. Let me know what you want to see the British government do when it comes to tackling this extremely dangerous and perilous situation. As ever, guys, I'll keep bringing you all the very latest, so make sure you have hit subscribe and the bell. And of course, thanks for watching.